All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SirLink.co podcast, and we are here today with Mr. Jabez Reuben. How are you doing today, Jabez?
Doing very well, sir.
Awesome, glad to have you. And if you guys are
Thanks
not
for having me.
familiar with Jabez, he is the founder of the Blueprints link building agency. He's also the founder of Link Validator, and he has been active in the Chiang Mai community for about 8 years now, which is a pretty long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting him out in Chiang Mai as well as at the conference. I don't know if we met at the conference in Chiang Mai, but we definitely met at the conference in Vietnam.
Yeah, in Saigon. I think we briefly met in for the Chiang Mai conference, but yeah, properly in Saigon.
Gotcha. But yeah, good to see you again. Good to have you back on the pod. And yeah, today we're going to be talking to Jabez as he's also a link builder for competitors, of course. And so we're not going to make him look too good here, but we are going to be talking about some alternative link building methods, some a little bit off the cuff, or not off the cuff, but a little bit just alternative link building methods, ways that you might not normally be getting backlinks. So yeah, what are your favorite ways to get these other kinds of backlinks?
I think my top favorite will be image link building for sure, because it's something that if you do it properly, you can just keep on getting links month after month for as long as possible. Yeah, for
Okay.
lifelong.
And how does that work?
So,
I've actually really never done image link building. It's something that I've read about quite a lot, but so I'm about to learn from you right here.
all right, so there's a black hat way and
Uh-huh.
there's a white hat way. All right, so let's start with the black hat way. So
Okay.
this was around, I think, 2018 Chiang Mai SEO Conference, and this is when we got to know that there's this black hat technique of building links using images. So basically, you pretend to be owner of someone else's images, create a fake persona of being a lawyer, and reach out to sites who are using that image and say, hey, this is my client's link, or this is my link, or yeah, and you need to give credits for these links. And most people without doing any research, anything, out of being scared of a lawyer is reaching out, they'll just, I would say 6 out of 10 people will just give a link back.
This feels like
There are
a Craig Campbell tactic.
I think so, yeah. He owns the credits for, yeah, yeah.
What
So
what
we,
do you
we
think?
did.
Sorry, I was gonna say, what do you think your success rate with this is? Like when so you find you just go to someone's website that they're using an image. Is
Yeah.
is there any way you scan for this, or do you just reach out? You just find random websites, or like how do you choose
So,
which images to go after?
okay, so some easy ways. Go to Unsplash or Pexels or Pixabay. See, let's say search for SEO. See which images are running right on top, and most likely, and you can see the stats, how many downloads they've got. And if it's a high downloaded image, just do a reverse image search and see how many sites are using. If you see a good result, okay, this is the one I'm gonna use now. So you can use this process like through Unsplash, Pixabay, Pexels, or just do Google image search as well. Look for top ranking images related to SE or whatever niche you are in, and do a image search, reverse image search, and see how many sites are using it, and yeah, do this process.
And when you do your outreach for them, are you only picking, do you like filter the websites at all?
Yeah, usually we used to filter. So when we are doing this black hat technique, start with DR because they are free. So DR 30 plus sites with 500 or 1,000 plus traffic. Start reaching out to them.
And do you filter for like relevance at all? So for example, say your articles about I don't know, link building image links, and then you found an image and the article it was coming from was like, I don't know, maybe it was somehow used on a website that didn't have anything to do with SEO. Maybe it was about like, I don't know, business.
Yes, we can, but most likely if you are, let's say, so using an image around link building, it will most likely be on
Okay.
a SEO related website or shoulder niche at least. So usually if you like searching and choosing the images properly, you will get relevant or semi-relevant sites.
Gotcha. And what does your outreach message look like when you reach out to these people?
So we are still on the black hat way, right? So in the black hat process, which disclaimer, I don't do it anymore. That's why
Of
I
course
worked on
not.
creating a pure white hat or gray hat technique. But with the black hat technique, it was, first of all, by domain, something that looks around like lawyer XYZ, lawyer, something like that, or advocate. And then say the format will be, hey, I am XYZ, I am the representative or lawyer of XYZ website, and looks like you're using my client's website without proper credits. Would appreciate if you can give proper credits and add this URL to the credits.
Nice. Okay. So it was basically just a message explaining that there was no like attached like cease and desist or anything like that. And okay.
No, can't get too serious in the email because if you're too pushy or too serious, then they will, okay, let me research what's happening.
Gotcha. So be
So,
lighthearted,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
be nice. Yeah, you're not in trouble. We just want to make sure that our client is properly
Like
credited,
in the
whatever.
first go, then slowly follow up, hey, what's happening, and just wanted to see before I don't want to take any legal action like that. This is like the mild follow-ups, just to give a small hint. There's a
So
action coming, so.
with normal link building, we know that follow-ups are quite important. How important would you say follow-ups are with this tactic?
Oh, really important, man. For image outreach, whether you're doing black hat or white hat or gray hat, follow-ups are really important because especially when you're doing white hat image link building, every single prospect is important. So because you're not going to pay for these, 90% of the time you're not going to pay for these links. So like for our team, we tell them, no, you have to treat every single prospect as you have to convert each of them. So if they are not responding via email, use the contact form. If they have a chat bot, message them there. If they have Facebook, message them there. But you have to use all methods to reach out to them.
Okay, so you're saying that you really push your team hard to convert all of these things. What would you say like your success percentage is like over 90%?
Oh, success. It also depends on the delivery rate of the email
Yeah,
and
true.
how responsive that website owner is. But the response rate, considering if there are active emails and the person is also active on the social accounts or the contact details that they have shared, if that's working properly, then the response rate is high. Usually,
Do you
that's
have
what
any
we've
idea
seen.
what the percentage would be?
Let's say I would say if the receiver the webmaster is responding, so I would say seven out of 10 will give you a link if they are responding.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so now what's the white hat way?
Okay, so wide headway is you create your own images. And so to do that, you need to do a bit of research to figure out what kind of images you need to. And when you're, this is, I think, the most important part of this technique is brainstorming what kind of images I'm going to make. Usually what we do is use Ahrefs Content Explorer, and let's say I'm in SEO link building niche, right? So I will use keywords, broad topics, not narrowed down topics. I would look for broad topics, put them in the Content Explorer of Ahrefs and see the article trend, how many articles have been written on these topics, and see if it's going on. I don't want to use topics that have a decline in the amount of content being written about that topic. So we find topics around, okay, there's people are talking about AI link building or Harrow, and it's increased, the trend is increasing. So I will create images around Harrow and AI link building or AI link building techniques, and keep it in a format. Instead of portrait mode, we use landscape mode. So the idea is like people want to use images as their article cover image or somewhere in between. So the format is important. If you use a portrait, usually it's not picked up that much and used in articles. Yeah. So create like images that will be an easy download and paste for writers to use in their articles. Yep. So first stage is the ideation, like what kind of images you need. You can even do using those same keywords that you have shortlisted after seeing, okay, there's a growing trend for these topics. Then run them through Unsplash, Pixabay, Pexels, and come up with similar ideas and also create better images. Don't just copy the exact images that are already there. If someone has already created a very similar looking image, then create something better, something that people will see. So, and use bright images for sure. The downloads for brighter colored images, white background images is usually on the higher side. Yeah. So shortlist topics, then create images, and usually Unsplash usually has the highest downloads, but the downside of Unsplash is that they only accept photographs instead of
Art.
designs. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, artwork designs. So yeah, that's the only drawback with Unsplash, but results are really good with them. And Pixabay, Pexels are also good. I would say Unsplash, Pixabay, and then Pexels in terms of downloads that you get.
and so
And then
you
you leave it for 5 or 6 months and slowly they get picked up. And when you're uploading them, upload with appropriate tags And one thing important that you have to do is in the bio section, make sure you add your website link, or even better, just write all links created by xyz.com, yeah, whatever your website name is. That way, when you're reaching out to people who are using your images, you can show that, hey, you can see the proof in the Pexel profile on Splash profile.
Gotcha. Okay, so backing up a little bit. So first you do the ideation. So have you done any images for connectively backlinks yet? So Haro is now connectively. Have you
Oh
got on
no,
that
not
trend?
yet. You should do that. Thank you.
For
You should
anyone
do that.
watching, go make some connectively backlinks or images. But yeah, okay, so you do the ideation and then you find a good idea or a topic you want to make images around. And how many images do you normally make for each topic?
Depends on how much time we have to work on it. The more the better. There's no fix. Sometimes even with 3 or 4 images, you start seeing good response. And sometimes you make 20 images and you're still struggling to get downloads. So it depends on the quality of images you've created and also like how much resources, whether you have hired a freelancer to create those images for you, or you have an in-house designer to create those images for you. So it all depends on your resources. But if you have someone in-house, just create as many as you can, because there's no fixed criteria. Okay, that all 5, like you uploaded 10 images and all 10 will start seeing the same amount of downloads.
Yeah.
Some will work, some won't work. Let's say 20% is of all the images you can.
So I know you're saying you have your designers work on this stuff, but do you ever have them use AI or have you ever used AI to create the images just really fast and in bulk?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, not yet. But I do know people who are using, not for building images, but I know like people who use AI and for creating images and to sell them on stock, deposit stock or stock images like that.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So you make the images, get them out on the thing. Then you're gonna have to send these people an email. Important to fill out the profile. So then when you send the email, I guess it's probably pretty casual, same as the previous email, just saying, hey, are you like forceful with it? Is there any kind of like rule to these
No, no. So
platforms, or is it just
you cannot be forceful. I remember a client for whom we were running image outreach before, and after some time, they said, okay, now we can do it by ourselves, and okay, we said, okay, you go ahead and do it by yourself. Basically, they didn't want to pay us for new links, and then they started doing it on their own, and they were quite aggressive, and because Pixabay,
they
Pexels,
get
and
banned?
Unsplash, they got banned. They got all the images removed because they clearly say you cannot force people to give you credits because you're agreeing for free Creative Commons license.
But it's okay if you do it pretty lightly, if you just ask
Yeah, you have to be
nicely.
really light. Yeah, you cannot push hard for images for image
Gotcha.
credits.
So I'm assuming you still do a follow-up process with these as well. It's just, yeah, you're just still being nice.
Yes, yes. And that email template is also important. The way you reach out to them, be really polite. And we usually tell, hey, we are glad you're using this image and it's of help to you. Please keep using it. And would you mind helping us out with a link? It will really help us to create more images like this. So keep it very lighthearted and wait for the first response before you bombard them with more emails or definitely you cannot be aggressive with this approach.
What would you say is the success rate if you were to compare the black hat method versus the white hat method?
I think Whitehead will have more responses, more links. With the black hat method, you can actually start targeting straight up DR 60, 70, 80. You can just pick up any site and say, hey, that's my link, that's my image. Whereas with Whitehead, you just have to wait and see which sites are picking up and using your images.
Yeah.
We've got DRs 80, 90 links as well, who have agreed to give us a link and they have given links. But it's a slow, long process.
Yeah, I can imagine that because you're waiting for them to, first of all, want to, you have to make your images, then you have to wait for them to actually use the image. So this could take a lot of time versus the black hat method. They're already using all these images. You already found the
Yeah,
ones that are being used heavily. So you could just boom, boom, just really start hammering out some emails and
absolutely.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Is there anything else important about image link building that I did not ask that I should have asked?
Image link building. Yeah, another thing to remember is because you mentioned building through AI, you have to remember both Splash and Pixabay, and I think Pexels also. They don't just publish any image that you publish or upload because they have their quality meters. So you will upload and there will be some review process. I have seen internally also to users, they will send and they'll take votes. Hey, is this image, do you like this image and do you approve it to be published on a platform? Because I received those kind of circulars from Pixabay and as well. So they are strict with the kind of images, especially I think the strictest is Unsplash. The image quality has to be really, really high.
Do you know if they're rejecting AI stuff? I would assume at this point they're probably just like looking for AI and just automatically rejecting them.
I won't be surprised. We've not even tried using AI, because even when you create your own images, design them really well, so many of them get rejected. So that's an important thing to look for as well, that when you are creating those images, make sure that quality is really high. One of the ways is look for brighter images. One thing I know, same image, everything same props, anything, but for lighting and dull background gets rejected straight up. And same thing you do with proper lighting and bright colors has a higher approval rate.
Gotcha. And I guess the last question I'll ask is, when you look at ROI, first, like how much it's costing to create these links overall versus like normal link building, like how would you compare the two?
So I think the main thing with image links is the whitehead ones is time. It's time consuming. So we used to offer it as a service to clients, but because it's so time consuming, we stopped offering it, and it's best if it's done in-house. So for our long-term clients, we teach their in-house team. So people who buy our other link packages, we tell them, okay, you can diversify. We'll teach your in-house team to run link build image links. So there is definitely like a good ROI. You will get good links, but time is what you need to spend on it. And if you have, as I said, if you have in-house designers, then most of your cost is covered. Or if you can find a decently priced designer, that will be your main cost. And then rest of it is you need to have a VA who would continuously, I would say every 2 weeks. I think after 3 months, first 3 months, don't even look at the images. Just let them sit, let the downloads happen. After 3 months, once or twice a month, check for reverse engineer and check for sites that are using your images.
I've actually never checked to see if anyone was stealing our images over at SirLinksalot, but we did find a couple of people using our images to create like Fiverr stores or stores on like Legit and stuff. Come on, guys.
Okay. Yeah, you can't get credits from there, but yeah, it's a good thing to keep a reverse engineer.
Yeah, there was one they stole from our PBN links page, and it was like with us SirLinksalot branding and everything. It was like with our little logo and everything, all the colors, and then it's just like PBN links at the top, and they were using it as their main image on their store on Legit. But we talked with support, and they just took it down. So no link for us, unfortunately, but also no store pretending to be us anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, image link building, that's cool. What else do you have as far as unconventional link building techniques?
We used to do a bit of spin on Skyscraper. So we would combine Skyscraper with Expert Roundup. So what we would do is your usual Skyscraper technique that you're building on a topic and writing a detailed article on it. But
can you explain that a little bit more in detail, just in case someone's not familiar with Skyscraper?
Skyscraper is you find out a topic that, and usually keyword research is really helpful in this. So you find out a topic, let's say if it's a best XYZ stats or travel stats for Thailand, and look for articles or similar articles around it that has maximum amount of backlinks. So that indicates that this is a topic that journalists or authors like to link to, and you write an updated article on that topic and then reach out to the same sites and more sites that have high probability of linking back to you. Like you can reach out to them saying, hey, you've linked out to this stat, but I have written a much detailed newer version of this stat or on this topic. And so that's a Skyscraper. And so on the similar lines, what you can add is Expert Roundup. So you written a stat or a detailed article, something around nutrition or fitness, right? So you start reaching out to fitness experts or fitness coaches and say, hey, I'm writing this article. I want to feature 10 or 20 top fitness coaches in this article as well. The only criteria. So now what we used to do is we reach out to them and we'll tell them, okay, we will feature you. We will only feature those who are willing to link back to us. So in advance, we will know. And so we'll reach out to 40 or 50 of them. 10 or 15 will agree to give us a link in return. So even before the article has been published, we know that we are going to get 10 or 15 links from these highly relevant sites. There will be chances that these fitness sites or these coaches, their sites don't have a lot of traffic, but it's highly relevant sites. So that's the reason why we would take links from them and give them some links in return, give them a link in return.
How do you decide who to reach out to propose this to?
Depending on the like your topic. So as I said, if you, let's say if you written an article on travel niche, the article is around travel, some stats around that, then you reach out to some other travel blogs that we then the way we would do is, okay, we are going to in this article we are going to feature top 10 travel blogs as well, and that's why we are reaching out to you. And the only criteria is that, hey, will you be willing to give a link in return? So it's not necessarily that you reach out to experts, you can reach out to blogs as well. So let's say if you written an article about in the vegan niche, so you can reach out to, hey, other vegan sites and tell them, hey, we in this article, which is all about vegan stats and others, we are also creating a list of top 10 vegan blogs to follow, and we would like to feature you guys. And yeah, so tell them in advance that to be featured, the criteria is that you give us a link in return.
So do you do that way more where you're just like basically it's like a top blogs roundup, or do you do more like the expert one where it's like actually like a person's name or something?
It totally depends on my main topic, what I will be able to get easily. And I think blogs is usually easier because that way you can get better quality links in return.
Yeah, because you could just look up some like top rankers, right? They're
Yeah,
generally going to be kind of bigger sites.
yes. But then bigger sites usually don't care about being featured. And so usually you would find sites that are in DR 30 to 50 range that are more easier to communicate and chances of getting a link from them.
Gotcha. And when you do this, it's basically a link exchange. Are you just doing like a direct link exchange, or do you ever do ABC kind of link exchange?
For this, it's direct link exchange.
Gotcha. Do some of the people ever not want to do that and propose an ABC kind of deal, or most of them are just okay with it?
Most like what I would say 80% are just okay with direct exchange. Some if someone has an SEO team on board or they already know how this whole link exchange works, and then they would say, hey, I have another site as well. You can link to that. I can link for you from this other site. So ABC link exchange.
Gotcha. And how many sites do you think you reach out to? So let's say you're doing travel niche and you just wanted to do a thing of 10 best, whatever, Greece travel
Yeah.
bloggers or something. How many sites or people do you think you would reach out to?
At least 40, 50, because response rate, how many will agree to be featured, and also at least 40, 50 to boil down to at least 10 agreed one. Or if you've already got 10, like you start reaching out and you reach out to 25 or 30 and you already got 10 approved sites, then you don't need to reach out to more.
And how do you normally find the sites to reach out to? You just like type in something on Google, or are you like using like Ahrefs or something?
Ahrefs, easier to do in Ahrefs, run a topic through Ahrefs and see, and then you can filter based on DR and traffic easier. We can do through Google as well, but eventually we do, if we are featuring blogs instead of personal brand, like trainers or anything like that, then we always try to run it through Ahrefs and see who has better stats. First reach out to them, then the ones with lower stats.
Gotcha. And so I would assume the cost for this is quite low. Would you say that's about
Yes.
right?
Yes. Again, so the cost here will be the main person who will write the skyscraper content. So I think your cost is there. And then if you have your own VA link to run the outreach, that's pretty easy then.
Yeah.
But so this way you're getting two like links from two sections. One is your regular skyscraper topic for which you will be to sites already linking out to from there, and then you get free links from these blogs that you're featuring.
Gotcha. Do you think there are any other questions about this technique I haven't asked? Any things to up your chances of success or anything like that?
Yeah, just to do your, again, the research bit is important, because if you straight up just come up with, okay, I'll write stats on this topic, then chances are like you might not get those skyscraper links that usually people can get. So the research and best is to use Ahrefs Keyword Explorer to look for a skyscraper type topic that you can enhance and write about.
Okay, cool. So we've done image link building, we've done this skyscraper kind of expert round up kind of hybrid thing. And then I see one other thing listed here you wanted to talk about affiliate outreach. What's that all about?
Affiliate outreach. I'm not sure how many of our viewers will be are still doing affiliate SEO,
Yeah,
but yeah,
happy, right?
yeah. But with affiliate outreach, again, that's also a really good way of building free links. Is basically if you are featuring products on your site, and you can reach out to those actual manufacturers, those companies, and say, hey, I'm featuring your product. I want to drive more sales for you. Can you? But for that, it will really help if you can give me a link from your site. This will, help me drive more sales for your product. Yeah, this won't work for products from Amazon. You have to reach out to the actual sites, and then a lot of them will say, hey, instead of listing our Amazon shop, why don't you list our other company shop, our other e-com store? Yeah, and sometimes if they have nicely built site, sometimes you can, even in this process, can you also get a better commission or affiliate commission from the actual company.
Gotcha. And when you're doing this, do they ever have any kind of like requirements? Are they ever, hey, you're not like selling enough of our stuff, like so no? Or do they like look to you for, do they want you to be like ranking better already? Or do they not really care, do you think?
I think what happens is, if you're doing a roundup article, top five posts. So if they are on rank one in that article, they are fine with that. But if they are number two or three, they will say, hey, push us up in your article. Usually we've not come across many who have checked for traffic, because we can always say, hey, we are a coming site, and the traffic is growing, and we see a potential growth in the next 6 months as well. Yeah, I think most of them just say, okay, put us on a higher ranking in your article.
Gotcha. And do you normally get them to link to a specific article like that in general, or do they ever do like just link to like your homepage or something like that?
No, that article is the first go. And I think 80 to 90% of time we get the link to that page only. Unless and until we've written a bad review about that product, then they don't want to link out. Then they don't won't even link out to us. There have been cases where the review wasn't great and they send corrections. Hey, this is not true, correct this, and push us up in the ranking. And you say, yeah, okay, we've done that. So then they are happy to give us the link. But usually they give us a link for that product page, or otherwise if they don't, because they'll sometimes say that, hey, there are other products also on your page, then we'll say, okay, we'll write a dedicated review article for your product.
But yeah, I'm assuming this amount of link building has probably gone down a little bit. What are you guys seeing over at your link building agency as far as affiliate sites that are still building links? We've still got some, but it was like night and day when we were just looking over our managed clients, where it was just the numbers were undeniable with how many of these sites got hit versus literally everybody else, anyone doing our local or just whatever else.
Oh yeah, yes, man. Affiliate clients have been, and that's the reason why since last year and a half we've focused on e-com, SaaS, and agencies. Like I would say 70% of our clientele is SEO agencies. It's less they work with them. We don't have to know about link qualities, the affiliate SEO side of things.
Gotcha. Okay, but still a cool link building method. And I like that one as well because then, like you had mentioned before, it opens the door to also like negotiate rates and stuff like that, which if you were doing it for a client, not something you'd probably be too interested in. But if you're doing it yourself, like anyone who does affiliate SEO, something they'd probably be pretty interested in.
Yeah. And you can always, like, even if you're not running a affiliate site, let's say even on your agency site, link building agent, like agency or SEO agency, it's talking about a tool. Let's say on your site, you are reviewing a tool. And even in that way, you can reach out to them, hey, we just reviewed your tool, or we just covered or mentioned or put a spotlight on a tool in our community, in our article. And we want to drive more traffic. Will you be willing to give us a link?
I like that
And
one because, like
yeah,
you said, it doesn't have to be a review article. So, like, it doesn't have to be like affiliate content, right? You could be like a how to do something article, and then you just use their tool at one point in the article, and you could try to, reach out in the same exact kind of way.
absolutely. And even if you're giving them links anyway for any resource, so you can even reach out to people using, saying that, hey, I just gave you a link in my article. Will you be willing to give us a link? Yeah, there's this thing of returning back the favor. People want to return back the favor, so you will see some results there. It's not that this doesn't work. This has, like, I would say 5 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 will return the favor. They thank you. Unless it's a really big site. DR 70 plus, those are hard to get from. But if it's in DR 20 to 50 range, there are high chances they'll return the favor.
That's cool. I like that one. And maybe, yeah, maybe a little bit more useful for people in this anti-affiliate landscape we find ourselves in right now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else you want to cover about affiliate outreach or this kind of method, maybe
I
not
think
just affiliate?
that's pretty much about, yeah,
Cool.
getting.
Any other alternative link building methods that you've been using lately? Or should we move on to the next topic, Ahrefs credits?
Oh, I think that's pretty much all the alternatives one that has worked well and with minimum investments. I
Yeah.
think I'll stick with those.
Yeah, I think that's a really good key point. It's all three of these, like they take time essentially. Anyone could do
Yeah.
this themselves if they had enough time. Like you could have your
Yeah.
own site. You don't need a graphic designer unless you have a really bad eye for design. You could literally just do it
Yeah.
all yourself with almost
Yeah.
no budget, really. You're just sending emails at that point. Email's free. You can make images on Canva and whatnot quite easily for free. Yeah, so really cool methods here. Um, Okay, so Ahrefs, unless you've been living under a rock, Ahrefs is pretty much like all of our favorite link building tool. However, there's definitely a love-hate relationship with this tool. I think they just upped their prices again like a couple of weeks
Again,
ago.
yeah.
I'm just afraid to, I'm not even like looking at the bills that we get at this point, just okay. But yeah, and they're also on a credit system now, which the more you use
Yeah.
it, once you go over the credit, then you start getting billed more, you have to add more credits and whatnot. So what are some of your favorite ways to save on Ahrefs credits?
Screaming Frog, number one. So because we need stats, or we need to continuously update stats of our inventory and also scrape of sites in bulk and then find out stats. So even if you're using batch analysis, you will exhaust a lot of credits. So the best way is Screaming Frog has an option to integrate with Ahrefs. So connect to your Ahrefs account. That way you are exhausting your integration credits, which is I think 1 or 2 millions, and you won't exhaust it so easily. And then upload your entire 5,000, 10,000 plus sites in Screaming Frog, and it will give you all the stats. Everything that you get in batch analysis, you can get it through to that process, integration process. So
Nice.
that's definitely an easy way to,
And so
credit.
if you were to top up credits or whatever, are they treated like how is that treated if you need to top up or whatever? Or is it like treated like completely separately? How does that work?
It's separate. So far, we've not exhausted our integration credits. So I don't know how to top up that because as I said, I think it's 1 million or 2 million credits at least you get for integrations, and we've not exhausted them yet. I know the regular ones, the regular credits for using Content Explorer or keyword research or anything else, it's $25 or $30 per, I think 300 or 400 credits,
I
something
think
like
it might
that.
even be more now. I think they
Oh,
increased that as well.
yeah.
How much longer until you switch over to SEMrush?
I don't think we can.
Yeah.
We do have SEMrush as a backup just to check referring domains. The referring domains data of Ahrefs is way better than SEMrush. And we've had issues where we were just using SEMrush and to create the blacklist of our client, and SEMrush didn't pick up enough data. And then the client was like, "Hey, if you had used Ahrefs, you would have had the entire information about our referring domain." So we've stuck with Ahrefs definitely, and Ahrefs Content Explorer. That's one tool I think that's our favorite Ahrefs tool, and that's hard to find an alternative. And clients also now are used to Ahrefs data. We tried testing out a new tool called clicks.so.
Yeah.
We thought, okay, let's see what the clients would say, but then it's Ahrefs stats that we would rely on. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the gold standard, especially as a link building
Right.
agency. It's like we can't switch. It's just
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
We do get clients who are, do you still get clients who want DA instead of DR?
Yes, but normally the people who are asking about DA, they tend to be these like really like low budget kind of clients. I'm not sure what it looks like on your end, but they tend to be these kind of like low budget clients who are really looking for like the cheapest thing possible. So yeah, it's not something we really worry
Yeah.
about that much, and we just say Ahrefs is the standard for link building. Who uses Moz anymore? Does anyone? I don't know a single person who uses Moz except for maybe the Moz bar, like the free Chrome extension. Like if they
Right.
don't have Ahrefs, so they can still get a kind of like a SERP tool.
Right.
But I don't even know. I keep seeing Rand Fishkin's name like popping up on social media lately, especially I don't know if you saw the big Google leak
Oh
that
yeah.
happened.
Yeah, I posted about it just a few hours ago.
Yeah,
It's
so I
crazy.
hate it on a bunch of stuff, but I don't know what Moz is doing. I don't really know what Majestic is doing either. Though I think they started a podcast recently. Ahrefs a lot, you see SEMrush a lot. SEMrush seems to be playing catch up a little bit these days with Ahrefs pricing, but yeah.
We do get, especially because we do SaaS link building as well. I don't know why I face this in the SaaS niche. The like because in SaaS niche link building you have to do a lot of link exchanges, and also over there like we get criteria and complaints that hey, the spam score of this site is high. So
Yeah,
where did you get the spam
get
score?
out.
Like, it's Moz spam scores.
Oh, I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah,
I've never got that one.
yeah,
Normally
yeah.
people look at SEMrush spam score and they complain about that.
Moz spam score.
So yeah, what do you think about spam scores? SEMrush and Moz?
Nah, it's. I think last year sometime. I think it was Legit's Chris Walker. He went on a rant with I think SEMrush. I took a screenshot of that where he was complaining to. I think on Twitter he was complaining about the spam score is all made up, and then the guys from SEMrush were also saying, yeah, it's not Google's criteria, is our made up like our criteria. It doesn't reflect the actual quality. So I've kept a screenshot of that. So anytime a client talks to us about spam score, I send them that screenshot.
Yeah. I don't really put much weight into what Google says, but even like John Weller, I've seen like attacking these kind of like spam scores where he's pretty much these scores are completely bogus and they're just a way to
Oh
like
yeah,
scare you and make you keep buying their service, which yeah.
absolutely. Even if you read the article from iPullRank for the recent, because a lot of these it was the kind of links you're getting
Wait, can you repeat
in
that
that
part?
article. If you
We just
see,
had an internet outage. Can you repeat that last
okay,
part about the iPull rank article?
yeah. So I was saying in that iPullRank article, Mike King, who's written that article, he mentions that Google can filter out most of the spam, link spam, and that's where I think if Google is able to filter out, but all these tools, Moz, SEMrush, they won't be filtering out. So in those tools, the spam score will be going right up if someone is hitting you with negative SEO.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah, and that should definitely be ignored in most cases. However, I don't know what you think about this, but I'm assuming you've seen those k.html kind of spam links going around.
no, not exact,
So
not really.
there's these k.html spam links that are just at k.html. It's like dash k.html
Uh,
at the end of all the links for whatever reason. And normally I would just be like, hey, this looks like something Google would obviously just ignore. It has a completely obvious footprint. They're all image linking to images on your websites and stuff. But I've seen so much stuff out there recently with people getting hit by them and then actually disavowing them and seeing good results from a disavow. And we normally don't really advocate for disavows at all, really. We just say, especially with this kind of stuff, Google just tends to ignore it.
yeah.
But in this case, I've even having some people that I know personally disavow them and seen like pretty like immediate results after a week or two, which is crazy. And for this one, actually, SEMrush ends up being good because Ahrefs won't even show you most of the k.html backlinks because they just think they're not important, so they just don't show them. Whereas SEMrush, even though maybe their backlink database overall for good links is not as good, they still show a lot of these kind of
Spammy ones.
spammy links. Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, that's interesting. I never came across that.
Yeah, it's a kind of a recent thing that caught our attention. We just saw one of the guys who works in our managed service was noticing a bunch of clients that were having it and a couple of them taking like hits and stuff. But yeah, it's off topic. Any other ways to save Ahrefs credits?
I think one thing you need to understand, like I've actually created a course on this for my team. So just be mindful of clicking here and there on it. So that's where you're losing
Take
your
your finger
credits.
off the mouse. Your finger off the mouse. You should be working like
So
this.
Ahrefs has a free DR tool also. So if you don't have Screaming Frog, because you need to get the first method that I told, you need a paid version of Screaming Frog, which isn't much for the year. But there's Ahrefs free traffic tool, free DR tool. Use that, and we also use Ahrefs toolbar. So Ahrefs toolbar also uses a different set of credits. So that's helpful.
I've heard.
And
I
please,
don't know if this is true.
no, it's true.
I've heard.
I've tested it.
But I've heard they're
I
coming.
was,
I heard they're coming for the Ahrefs toolbar, and they're going to
oh,
start
no, no, no,
charging
no.
credits for it.
So cut this from the video.
We don't. I don't know yet. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet. But as we're recording right now, you don't get charged credits for the Ahrefs toolbar.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, I've tested it. I can confirm this. You don't get charged for the toolbar, and I hope they won't charge. And please be mindful. So if you're doing, especially if you are using Content Explorer or Site Explorer, just don't be randomly just clicking on all pages. You need to know exactly what you want and just stick to that path.
You have like criteria. So like before you click, run through these criteria. It's like how necessary, I don't know, just a little checklist to decide if they should click and burn the credit or not.
Yeah, and I had to train our team. Just please use it wisely, and you can because we used to use Content Explorer a lot. So when the new credit system came, my team exhausted it in I think 4 or 5 days. Then I'm like, man, this won't help us. So in Content Explorer, you can save filters because when we in Content Explorer, we use it for finding prospects, link prospects, and then we add filters on it. This DR range, this much traffic. You can set language, all that stuff. So you can save those filters, and because every time you search and every time you apply, with each filter you apply, you are exhausting 1 credit. Whereas you can just save your kind of preset, your filters, and just every time you search, so you won't exhaust 5 or 6 credits every time.
Okay, so saving preset filters. Any other methods?
That's pretty much the main
Gotcha.
thing.
We are running out of time here. We started a little bit late, but yeah, definitely running out of time. And I think the last thing we're going to talk about, and we can do this one a little bit quickly, is just what are the main tools that you use for your link building business?
Ahrefs, Screaming Frog for quality checks, and bulk data upload, G Suite. That's
Gotcha.
the main crux of 3 things. We tested a lot of emailing tools, GMass for longest time. We used that, Hunter as well. Yeah, an email finder for finding emails, really cheap and the closest best alternative to Hunter.io. So I was saying we use a lot of emailing tools before, but what we found is that the delivery rate goes down anytime you use a tool. So we send manually. And we use GSA for mass contact form submissions. That's really good.
Gotcha. Those are good because those tools you just mentioned right there, especially like Ahrefs and Screaming Frog, those are like I think those are pretty much, if you have Ahrefs and you have Screaming Frog, like you could do SEO. Like all the other stuff, of course, it can help like speed things up and it can make your processes easier, especially if you have a big team or whatever. Certain tools just make things a lot easier to streamline their processes. But it's good to see an agency with this more like bare bones approach. So like, how are you keeping track of all of your like outreach kind of stuff?
For a campaign management product, for all our campaigns and everything, we use ClickUp for management. So just create proper processes, systems, campaign checks in ClickUp. Every emailer, everyone is, all people who are managing it assigned there, and they just keep updating details there. And you can connect sheets, files, everything to ClickUp. Or you can use Notion as well. We use ClickUp because I prefer the UX of ClickUp.
I'm not a Notion fan. I people used to be crazy about it, and I looked into it a couple of times. I even tried to use it, and I was just like, I hated it.
I find I can't deal with a lot of these. Even Slack, I find it hard to use Slack. The reason why I finally agreed to use a project management system and because ClickUp has a really good UX and they have a really good app as well. So I can, on the go as well, I can see everything on my phone. And so connect everything to Sheets, and all those sheets are connected to ClickUp. So you can keep a check on all the campaigns, what's happening.
Gotcha. Awesome. Are you guys using ChatGPT or AI at all?
For keyword research, so we have to use for prospecting, finding new sites that we want to reach out to for getting links. So we have a process where one person has to list down all the keywords that we are going to use for scraping and finding those sites. So we use ChatGPT for finding variations of those keywords. So easily we can keep dumping them.
Yeah, I feel like ChatGPT is so good for that kind of stuff.
And there's so many things, like even my team, I tell them emailers write better. Like we have templates, but keep tweaking templates using ChatGPT so that your every day there's some edits made in the email so that it doesn't get caught in the spam filters, because if you use the same template continuously, sooner or later the delivery rate starts going down.
So you
So
do that
keep
every
making
day,
changes.
like every day you tweak them a little bit just
Every
using
day, yeah,
ChatGPT.
little bit, slight changes there. So for emails, for keyword research, and there's so many things you can do. And we have devs also, so now our devs definitely they love ChatGPT. It makes their work really fast.
For sure. Do you ever use ChatGPT to write the entire outreach message, or do you create the template yourself because you know how to do it better, and then you just
Yeah.
have it tweak it and reword it
Yes.
slightly?
Yeah, for rephrasing.
Gotcha.
For
Okay,
rephrasing.
awesome. Any other tools that you feel like are mentioning? Because yeah, I feel like Ahrefs, if you just have Ahrefs or SEMrush even, and then you have Screaming Frog, and then you have ChatGPT, like you could do so much with that.
Yeah, yeah. Even with Ahrefs, you can. I think if you have to pick one tool, that will be definitely Ahrefs.
For sure. Yeah, because it has a lot of, I haven't really used it that much, but it has a lot of the same kind of stuff that even Screaming Frog can do. The Screaming
Yeah.
Frog is so cheap. I can't even remember what the cost is, but
The yearly cost is I think around 500. The yearly
yeah,
cost.
first Ahrefs, what is it, like a minimum of 200 a month at this point?
Yeah, I think, and then the mid tier is like 500 or 600. With team members, it comes to 6 or 700.
For sure. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. It's been good talking to you. First time that we've talked
Oh, that was fun.
since Vietnam. Yeah, where can people find you if they want to connect or talk about your link building agency? Oh, wait, we one other thing, Link Validator. Come
Yeah.
on. You didn't mention that in your list of tools. What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, so Link Validator. So we have a tool called Link Validator. For all our clients, we used to manually check all the status of all the sites, whether it's index, whether it's all, because we do a lot of link insertions. So we had to check whether the link has been cached or not. So this was done all manually. And the person who was this task all through the month, her task was just checking. She was leaving, so we're like, man, we cannot just keep doing this manually. And the clients, the orders are increasing. It's time consuming, so we made it into a tool. On our site, we have a free tool as well on the blueprints, just to dump everything and quickly check some of the basic things, that whether the link is live and indexed. Then we have a linkvalidator.io where you can dump all your links and it checks multiple data points, like whether it's the right anchor text, whether the link has been inserted properly with proper HTTP or HTTPS, whether it has a surrounding sentence around it properly, how many, and you can track if you bought a guest post, but that website owner is adding more links to it, so you can see the count of links being added to that, where the IP address, you're not getting links from a link from, some of them are careless and they don't even put a Cloudflare on it, so you can see exactly same IPs created a link farm. And I think what I mainly like is whether the link is indexed and whether the link is in the cache version or not. So those are some main features, and to save time, just dump and leave and you'll get notified of all these data points.
Awesome. And that's over at linkvalidator.io. And then your link
Yes.
building agency is over at theblueprint.co.
Yes, the blueprints.co.
Gotcha. So yeah, if you need some backlinks, link insertions, definitely go check them out over at theblueprint.co. But if they're not good enough, come back to Linksalot and let us know. Let us know. But yeah, anything else you want to plug or anywhere people should follow you or anything?
Oh, I recently started being active on LinkedIn.
Me too.
Then I did. I think I read your post and someone else's, and they were both were of the opinion that the reach is good. I said, okay, let's start focusing on LinkedIn. And also on my Facebook, there's so many family members. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's have a dedicated.
Yeah, LinkedIn,
dedicated.
I'm starting to have a little bit of second thoughts about it because I feel like a lot of it are these like spam profile type things. They'll comment with ChatGPT comments and stuff. So you get like a lot more engagement and you can build followers like crazy
Really?
fast, but I'm not sure. I still think like you just get reach so quickly. I'm not sure like
How legit it is.
yeah, how legit it is, but it's definitely Twitter. Like Twitter is hard, or X, whatever you want to call it
Right?
now. It's so difficult to break into that. But I'll post the same thing on Twitter and just like flies, and Twitter is the one that it's so sad. But all
I'll
right.
let you test it and then try.
And yeah, I'll follow your LinkedIn journey as well. And yeah, I guess I will see you next when I get back to Chiang Mai this fall for the conference and everything. And then I'll hang
Yeah,
around
for
a bit. So yeah,
sure.
we'll gotta catch up when I get
For
back.
sure. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming, man. It's been a pleasure.